What's up guys, welcome back. My name is Warren. I'm a banker here in London and a property investor across the UK. My goal is to have my living costs covered by property and live free in the next 5 years. So I'm looking to get to £3,000 in property income in the next 5 years. If you're about that life, drop a like on the way in and subscribe if you're feeling really adventurous. Drop a comment as well. That's my content, that's what I teach. I'm all about living free, guys. So guess what, guys? I literally just got offered 2 days ago a rent-to-rent 5-bed HMO deal around the corner from where I live. The landlord literally gave me a call. I was actually surprised because I originally sent these letters out January 2020, so we're talking 2 years later. He just refurbed, he said he just refurbed his 5-bed property, and it's literally a 10-minute walk from where I live. Really good prospect. I was really excited on the call, out of the blue, because that's not my priority, that's not my focus right now. But hey, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. You know, God is good. Sometimes he just sends blessings your way that just fall into your lap. If you're not familiar with what rent-to-rent is, essentially rent-to-rent is where you take control of a landlord's property. So you say to the landlord, I'm going to give you a guaranteed rent of X amount per month. They give you control of the property to manage on their behalf. And usually people use the property either for a HMO or for serviced accommodation. And the idea is that the income that you make from either one of those strategies, HMO or serviced accommodation, should be greater than the guaranteed rent that you're paying to the landlord. You have to pay the rent to the landlord every month, regardless of whether the property is occupied or not. That's a deal that you strike up with the landlord, and the difference is what you keep in profit. So essentially, it's really good strategy for people to make money from property if you can't necessarily afford to buy one. That's it in a nutshell. If you want to know more, check out my video on what they don't tell you about rent to rent. It really goes into the detail of how this works and the things that you need to be aware of before you go into actually doing rent-to-rent. And just to give you a walkthrough of how I went about securing this rent-to-rent property. First of all, I had a look at all of the HMOs in my local area. I don't want to be managing a HMO on the other side of London in another part of the UK. And most boroughs, most councils make it mandatory for landlords, property owners, to apply for a license to be a HMO landlord. You've got to pay for that, and they keep a record. So this is my local council, Lewisham. What I simply did was go to the council's website, and this information is accessible to all people. Downloaded the register like so, and this is a breakdown of all of the HMO owners in the borough of Lewisham. So we've got 827 landlords, guys, in the borough. And this is really good because it gives you the address of where the landlord actually lives, and it gives you the address of their property. It also gives you a breakdown of how many floors there are in the house and how many households of people that are in the house. Really great information if you're looking to do rent to rent. And if you go on any rent to rent calls or even search on the internet, the traditional method is to send out letters to these license holders, these landlords, for addresses. Now this is 827 letters to post. You know, there's some duplication. So for example, on this line here, you got the same person who owns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different HMOs. So not quite 827, but you know, at least 700. So one of the things that I said in my other video is that rent to rent is not a free strategy. Sending out these letters alone and the follow-up letters that I'm about to show you in a sec costs hundreds of pounds, guys, hundreds of pounds. It's not a no money down strategy. So if anybody tells you that, call them out, because it's not true. This is a letter that I sent. It's basically an initial letter saying, you know, who I am, that I offer guaranteed rent, and that I will manage the property for free, and I'll pay them rent in advance depending on the area, and I give my contact details below. So this is a letter that I sent to 700 plus landlords, and then I followed it up. The follow-up letter is very important as well, because not everybody reads the first letter and actions it. Sometimes, or with most things, it takes people a couple of interactions to actually respond. Now let's get into the detail of this actual rent-to-rent deal, right? How much money I'm going to be making, because I think you're going to find this valuable. If you're going for the rent-to-rent strategy, I'm going to show you right now how you assess a deal, how much money you're going to make, and whether it's worthwhile or not. So the first thing that you really want to get to the bottom of is how much is the landlord going to be looking for as a guaranteed rent for his property. Luckily he had 2 others, and he has another rent to rent HMO in pretty much the same area. It's like within a 5-minute walk, same amount of bedrooms, and he said he was getting 3,200 per month guaranteed rent on that property. So logic dictates that he's going to be looking for that, or near, very close to that, for this property as well, because they're virtually the same and they're in the same area. He's just refurbed this property as well, so there'll be no work for me to do when I get this property. I won't need to pay for any refurbs. No stuff like painting the walls, plastering the walls, new carpets, all of that kind of stuff. Might have to buy some furniture, but you know, I'll make an assessment of that when I go see it. So 3,200 is a number that we're working with. And what you want to do is you want to go into Rightmove and validate that number as well, because he could be just capping. He could be telling me some porkies, guys. So go into Rightmove, search homes for rent in that area, in that specific postcode, same amount of rooms, and just have a look at the average, right? The average rent, just to validate what the landlord's quoting you. Now let's get into the numbers, right, of how much I can actually make. This is the important part. So this is how a rent-to-rent deal should be assessed and how it works. So what you want to do is go onto Spare Room and type in the address, the postcode here. Spare Room, by the way, is the biggest HMO website in the UK. If you're a renter and you're looking to go into a HMO, most people start with Spare Room. Therefore, it's a really great tool to get an idea of the average room rents in the area. So these are the results nearby in the area that I'm looking at, Brockley. I've got the street here, and these are all of the HMOs nearby. What I did, guys, is I went through each one of these houses for rent being listed to renters, and I took an average of all of these because they're all nearby. And this is a really important step because it's going to give you a pretty near precise idea of the amount that you're going to be able to charge per room. So for example, this one in a nearby street in Brockley, it's a double room, £585 per calendar month. So I went through all of these listings and I took the average of the different types of rooms, and based on my research, single rooms in the area had an average rental price of £545 per month, doubles £667 per month, and large doubles £791 per month. Those were the averages. And now let's get into his spreadsheet. So the guy told me on the phone, I asked him about the rooms. He said there was 1 single bedroom, 3 doubles, and 1 what you would call a large double. So we know what the averages are based on the research, so we can put in the numbers here, right? So a single 545, 3 doubles all at 667, and a large double at 791, right? So we know this is a really good idea of how much income we're gonna get per month. £3,337 per month. Looking good so far, right, guys? Looking really good. Now, I mentioned to you that the guaranteed rent that he is currently getting on a similar property nearby is 3,200. So let's start with that, right? And Rightmove, by and large, there or thereabouts said the same thing. So we know that we're going to have to pay this guy £3,200 per month. Now, if you know anything about HMOs, usually when HMOs go in the market, they are bills included. So me, as the manager, I'm going to have to pay these bills for the tenants per month. You can opt for them to pay it themselves. You can do that. But when I'm looking around the area at the houses nearby on Spare Room, all of the bills are included, so you really want to align yourself with that. So electricity, I'm going to say £150 per month for 5 people. Let me know if you think I'm being conservative, if you think I'm crazy. Water, I'm going to say 40 quid a month. Gas, I'll say 150 as well. Council tax, now I was able to look up the council tax, and when I looked up council tax band D on the local council website, 1,800 per year. What's 1,800 divided by 12? 1,800 divided by 12. A cleaner. Now this is optional, but in a HMO, I think generally speaking, it's a good idea to have a cleaner come in once a week or even bi-weekly just to clean the house, because not all tenants are hygienic. Some tenants move mad when it comes to keeping the house clean. So if we say £100 a month, and then repairs, when there are 5 people in a house, wear and tear is actually quite high. So I'm going to budget £200 a month. And then if I extend this out for January to December. Now, what I want you to do, guys, is pay attention to this line, right? I'm expecting to see a profit. Let's make this just a bit bigger. Each month, I'm expecting to see a profit. Otherwise, there's no point in doing this. Red flag, right? Red flag. Minus £653 per month. The maths, guys, on this do not work out, right? So we're going to get this much in income. You might be able to squeeze out a bit extra, but based on the averages for the immediate area and what's being rented out, you know, there's not a lot of wiggle room on this, okay? Guaranteed rent. We might be able to wiggle this down. So say, for example, we managed to get him to change his mind and accept, I don't know, £300 less per month. So 2,900. I'll extend this across the whole year. Let's say I've got amazing negotiation skills and I can get him down to 2,900. The electricity isn't going to change. People need electricity. There's going to be 5 people in a house. They've got appliances to use. They're switching on lights. They're using their heating. They're using their laptops, computers, TV. You know, you can't say to your tenants, hey, can you use like half the electricity per month that I budgeted for? It's not going to work. Water's the same. Gas is the same. Council tax, unavoidable. Maybe we could go without a cleaner. So say, for example, we said, okay, this is a bit tight. We're going to take the cleaner out. We're not going to use a cleaner on this one. We're just going to have to trust them to do their own cleaning and be hygienic. And say we got the repairs down to, say, £100 per month. When I say repairs, I'm talking about stuff like calling out the plumber when you need to, an electrician, replacing doors, replacing furniture. It's inevitable with a HMO. We're still going to lose money, guys, and it's tight as it is. So I showed you this because you probably thought off the face of it, hey, 5-bed HMO, £3,300 per month, you're gonna make some serious money. Well, no, according to the numbers, guys. And I actually got in contact with the landlord and I said, look, I don't want to waste your time. It's probably not even worth negotiating. I didn't say those exact words, but the numbers just don't stack up. Now, this other guy who's paying £3,200 per month in guaranteed rent, I don't know how this guy's making money. I'm going to be honest with you guys, based on the numbers here. So this is a deal that I'm not going to pursue, but I wanted to go through it with you, go through the math and show you how to assess a rent-to-rent deal, how rent-to-rent deals work, and whether or not you should go for them based on the money. Are you going to make money? That's what it comes down to. If you're not, it's not worth pursuing. So let me know your comments below. Let me know if you think that there's a way that I can make money or if you agree with me. Really interested to see. And I'll see you guys soon. Like and subscribe.